Well, welcome back, YouTube. Time for another episode 48. It is Sunday, August the 9th. It has been a long, hard, hot day. I've been doing a lot of work today to finish up all the requirements that I need to meet to close out this episode. As you can well see in the title, I turned what was an idea, a dream, and a concept into a reality. Did it work? I don't know. You'll have to watch till the end to find out. So let's go see what I did and how I built and how I determined the best path forward to put a cage under my bus to transport my generator and actually call it an elevator cage. So let's see how I did it. Let's see if it worked, and we will get after it. Let's go for a walk. Alright guys, welcome back. This is my next video, my next project on this bus, and this is a unique one, so I'm going to try to carry you through the entire process so that maybe if you want to use it you can. Maybe you can modify it a little bit, make it more suitable for your application. But one of the things that I am trying to do is to figure out a way to transport my Westinghouse generator that you can see right there with me on the bus, so that I have the means to actually recharge my batteries if I need a generator. So I've come up with an idea. I'm starting to work on it. This is the actual base for the generator. What I will tell you is, because of the wheels, and I need to leave the wheels on, otherwise I wouldn't be able to move it, but it is 26 inches wide, 25 inches deep this way, and what I am doing is building a cage for my generator that will actually go in under the bus in front of the underbody storage where my propane tanks are. And I've measured everything out. I can get it up there. I had to modify my cage a little bit to make it work right. One of the things that I do want to point out is that I clamped my 6-foot level across the wheel well there, even with the bottom of the skin of the bus, and then I measured from the bottom of the level to the tires to make sure that I had enough clearance that if this thing was, because right now I've got it all jacked up and stuff, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough clearance that I could get my generator in and out from under the bus without having to cut the skin and create a door or whatever. And I don't have to do that based on the measurements. We'll figure that out when we get there, but it should be good to go. I've got a unique system that I think I've created that will work. It's going to be a elevator cage. I will be able to raise and lower it and be able to go in and take the generator in and out based on that. So I want to run through all of the steps that I have to do to make that happen and carry you through it. I'm going to be doing a lot of welding, and I'm not a welder. I'm going to be doing a lot of grinding. That I can do. But I'm going to step you through the process, and hopefully we can all get this done together in a very short order of time. So with that, I got to go get my grinder. I need to grind off all of the rust and get all of these points down to bare metal so I can weld them together. So I'm going to go grab some tools, come back and get ready for that, and I'll take you through that process. Alright, so I'm back. I got my grinder. It's sitting right over there, and I'm ready to clean this stuff up. But I do want to give you a rundown on exactly what I've got going on here. So this back angle iron piece right here, it sets my width at 26 inches, which is what I need for the generator. This piece right here is a low profile piece that allows me to connect the front rails together at the appropriate width, and it's low profile because I need to be able to roll my generator over the top of this. So I use this instead of angle iron because I need to be able to drop this all the way to the ground to make sure that I can get the generator out from under the skin of the bus when it's on the ground. So that's what that is. So these are the side rails. These are set to the depth of the generator, and that's what I got going on. So right now what I need to do is I need to grind and clean up all of the corners on all of these pieces and get them down to bare metal, so that I can do my best to attempt to weld them back together and put them in place. Right now this is square. I've checked it with both my square and with a tape measure, and it's square, but it's not going to be, because I'm going to be moving everything and grinding everything down, so I have bare metal to weld on. So I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to show you one or two pieces and what I need to do to get it ready for welding, and then I'm going to get that all done, and then I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. I don't know how this is going to work. I've got my camera in place. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grind this one down, show you what this needs to look like. I'm going to grind this one down, show you what this needs to look like, and just to give you an indication of where it needs to be. Then I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to get everything ground and ready. I'm going to get it all squared back up. I'll bring you back, and maybe we'll do some welding. One of the things that I have to do that I failed to do previously was I need to make sure that the edges on the end of the angle iron and at the top here is also ground off. I didn't do that, and that created problems for me, so that's what I'm going to do right now. So unfortunately, because of the sun, I can't see how well this is coming through, but I just want to point out everything is down to the metal. The end is down to the metal, the edges are down to the metal. This is where I'm going to be welding on this piece. So this one is set and ready to go. I'm going to do the end on this to show you how this is going to be done to mate up to this, and then we're going to get her all done in quick repetition. So now I'm going to more or less grind the bottom, the two edges on each side right here, and then I'm going to try to do something to be able to give me a clean weld point on the inside of the channel. I don't know how successful I'll be, but I'm going to try it. I don't know. I think that'll work. So I was able to clean out the inside of the channel. I got the inside rails done. I got the outside rails done. I had to make sure that this was more than 2 inches because it's going to be sitting on top of the 2-inch rail over there. So on this particular point, I think I'm done. As you can see, everything is down to the bare metal and smooth. That's what I need for a good weld. So that's it. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to get everything ready, get it all put back together, and I'll bring you back. All right, guys, so I got everything cleaned up. I got it put back together. I got it all squared up. One of the things that I have done, I'm playing with settings, trying to figure out what the right settings are for this to be able to get this to weld correctly. Still working on it, but I did go through and put some spot welds in place to hold it together. So at this point, what I'm going to try to do is make one final adjustment on my settings, see if I can get this to work a little bit better, and I am going to start trying to weld this all together and get it in, get it solid. So I'll figure out a way to put this camera somewhere so you can see how that works, and we'll get her done. But like I said, this is the 3rd project I've done with this welder. I got it sitting right there. Don't know anything about it. I've got the owner's manual. That doesn't help. There's nothing on the inside of the covers that tells me where the settings should be based on the thickness of the metal. So everything that I'm doing with regard to settings is strictly guessing and looking at what the welds look like when they're done. So I'll keep on working at it. Hopefully this thing is strong enough to hold together and hold a generator up under the bus, but I've got some ideas in mind to make sure that I don't have to worry about it falling apart if my welds suck. So let's go ahead and start welding and see if we can get this thing together. Back. It's Thursday afternoon. Unfortunately, after I did the time lapse of all the welding and stuff, I forgot to take the camera off of time lapse, and so I recorded my explanation and rundown on the base of this thing on time lapse, so I can't use that. But I did want to run through everything that I did and some things that I followed up with after that so that you can see where I currently stand. So I got my channel in, I got it welded. I'm not completely happy with the welds, but it's holding, it's solid. I did clean it up in a lot of places. I got some really good welds that'll hold. Did the welds in the back corner. After I get this all cleaned up and ready, I went ahead and did the back wall base of the cage for the generator. I got these welded in. Unfortunately, I missed a few welds because it was getting dark, and I just missed them. But I need to do a weld here. I need to do a weld here. I need to flip it over and I need to weld on the bottom side. I want to make sure this thing is strong. So I got this up after I did all the base work, and that was the lead in from the time lapse after that where I screwed up. But I got that installed, I got it ready, and that allowed me to go ahead and carry forward the rest of the components. So as you can see, this is the ceiling right here of the cage. I got one on this side, one on that side. These are shorter than the bottom, and the reason for that is because I have some of these that are underneath the bus that support the sidewall of the bus, and so I have to be able to clear those, and so that's why the top is a little bit narrower. So that's that. The other thing that I want to point out is I had to turn these in the orientation that you see them right here, and that's because I need to maintain the distance on the inside of the cage for the generator. So I had to turn those out. I've got room under the bus for those to be there like that, but for the sake of being able to get the generator in and out, I had to turn them. So that's why they're like that. One of the other things that I want to point out that I'm going to have to take care of is if we come back here, you can see there's a radius on the inside of the angle iron right here, and I'm going to have to try to grind this down and put that same or similar radius into the top corners on both sides, because that gap is way too big for that little flux core MIG welder to even remotely try to tackle. So I'm going to have to try to get those closer. So I'm going to try to sand and grind a chamfer and a radius into the top corner so that I can get these closer and get them to fit better across this corner. I need to do this because this is where I need to do the most work on my welds and make sure they're the strongest, because these top components that you see right here is what is going to support the weight of everything down below it as it's attached to the bus. So I need to make sure that it's nice and solid and I got good welds. I think that I may also either do, in some cases, some rivets or some bolts just to give me some added security. I'm not completely confident in my welding skills, and I don't want any issues, because if this thing comes apart, it comes apart right in front of the rear wheels, and that would not be a good thing. So I'm being very cautious of the risk associated with my inability to weld correctly, and trying to make sure that I do a bunch of stuff that I don't have to worry about this thing coming apart on the road. But that's what I got done. So what I'm going to do now with the rest of my lunchtime is I'm going to pull this apart. I am going to try to get everything cleaned up during my lunch break and get it ready, so that after work today I can try to finish all the welding and get all the welding done on this, so that I can try to get it primed and get this bare metal covered. So that's where I stand right now. That's what I did last night. This was the way it was when I quit yesterday. I would have been a little bit further, but I got called into some issues at work that I had to deal with. So it is what it is, and this is where I'm at. So at this point, I'm going to disassemble this thing. I'm going to start working on getting everything cleaned up and ready to weld, and I'll be back after work and we'll get her welded together. Well, I'm back. That didn't take near as long as I expected it would to get everything cleaned up. So my lunch break is almost over, so I wanted to show you that I got it all put back together. I'm ready to start welding as soon as I get off work and it cools down a little bit and let the sun go down. I do want to point out that I was able to round these out and get a much nicer and cleaner, tighter fit on these corners right here. So that worked out really well. So I should be able to get a good weld on that. Got everything put back together in the exact same configuration it was. So the only thing left to do is to get this thing welded, clean it up, and prime it. I'll be back after work, and we'll see what we can do to get her done. All right, guys, it's Thursday. It's after work. I got it all welded together. I'm working on cleaning it up, but as you can see, you got hit by a thunderstorm, so I got to put it on hold. But I did want to come back Thursday evening after I got off work, and I was able to get everything welded and put back together. I was right in the middle of trying to get everything cleaned up so that I could get ready to prime it when the thunderstorm hit. So that's where I am right now. It's all together. It's all ready to go. So as soon as this weather breaks, I'll be back and we'll see what else we can get done. Alright guys, well the weather definitely threw me a curveball. This thing is soaked. I gotta let it dry out. I'm gonna try to dry it off so that I can finish cleaning it up and try to get it primed. Otherwise, with all that water on it, it's gonna rust all over the place and be a major nightmare. But in the interim, one of the things that I did do before I go any further is do a fit check with my generator inside the cage. And holy cow, I'm happy. Not much in the way of extra tolerance, as you can see by the wheel adjacent to the frame. One thing that I am happy is that the dimensions that I used, it actually puts the wheels, which is the heaviest part of the generator, right over the frames. So that's this side. The wheels come back and they stop all the way against the back rail back here. Coming over here to this side, same thing, not much tolerance. It's a little bit off center, but hey, it works. One of the other things that I want to point out, I did have to fight it over that channel a little bit, but I've got some good tolerance on the front here. You know, in all fairness, the reason for that is because I'm below the rail, because I don't have the floor in yet. But once I put the floor in, that'll pick up a little bit. This is more likely what it's going to look like. As you can see right here, I've got maybe 3/8 of an inch clearance between the top of the bars and the cage, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it tight, compact, and so it's looks like it's good. It looks like it fits. Looks like everything came together. My tolerances weren't too tight, and it actually sits in there the way that it's supposed to. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm going to pull this thing out of here, and then I'm going to work on trying to get this thing dried off, and maybe I can finish cleaning it up and get it primed so that it don't rust on me. Sounds like there might be another thunderstorm coming in. I can hear thunder off in the distance, but at any rate, let's see how this works rolling out. Boom, there we go, it's out. So that's the way it works. That's the idea. It's going to go in under the bus right in front of the propane storage compartment right there, and it's going to raise and lower right there, and I'll be able to move it in and out from there and be able to use the generator when I need it. And one of the things I do want to point out, which is why I got this thing, it is actually dual fuel. It's propane and gasoline, so I'll be able to carry multiple fuel sources to keep this thing running. But at any rate, it works, it fits, it's ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to start working on getting the frame dried up, getting it cleaned off, and hopefully getting some primer on it. So it's still Thursday. The weather just passed, gave me a break, so I wanted to run through this and show you how it works, and I'll be back soon. All right, well, there it is, everybody. I managed to get it dried off, I managed to get it cleaned up, I managed to get it primed, and I managed to get it painted. It's got 2 coats of primer, it's got 2 coats of paint. The only thing that is not painted is the part that is actually sitting on the table. I'm going to let this bake overnight. I'm going to let it set up, and I will turn it, and then I'll do the part that's sitting on the table tomorrow. But this is ready to rock and roll. It looks good. I don't trust my welds. I'm going to say that again. I am going to use rivets and all kind of other stuff to make sure that this thing holds together, because I don't want my generator falling out under my tires. But it is together, it is solid, it is holding, but I'm like very leery and not trustworthy of the welds that I did. It is very solid, I'm not gonna lie, but I just don't trust it. So one of the things that I want to tell you is that I am going to put a floor in the bottom, and this is the bottom right here, and I am going to put a floor in the bottom for the bottom of the generator. One of the things that I'm also going to do is close off the sides. I'm going to cut sheet metal and rivet it in place and put it over the sides here to protect my generator and keep the elements out. Same thing on this side. I may or may not do the back, and the reason being for that is that it's going to be up against the frame rail, and I will probably close it in completely, but I haven't quite got there yet. But one of the things that I want to do is I want to use the sheet metal that I'm going to put on the outside to help hold this together, because I don't trust my welds. I'll be using some rivets and rivet this all together so that it doesn't come apart. One of the things that I'm going to do is, if you see these sheets of galvanneal, these are the cutouts for those windows right there. And one of the things that I'm going to do is put them, I'm not going to modify them or anything, they're just going to be rough, but I'm going to put them in these areas right here on both ends, because that 16 gauge galvanneal is much stronger than the sheet metal that I'm going to use, which came off of the roof of the bus on the inside. So that's going to be the exterior finish, but I'm going to use these to actually rivet them in place and help hold all of this together, so that I don't have to worry about it coming apart going down the road, because I really don't want my generator falling out from under my bus in front of the tires. That would be a bad thing. So this is where I'm at. This is what I got. It's still Thursday, August 6th. Weather cleared up. As you can see, there's not much going on anymore, but got it ready. I'm gonna start working tomorrow on cutting and installing sheet metal on the sides, the bottom, all of that kind of stuff. The other thing that I need to do is, as I alluded to, this is an elevator cage, so I'm going to start working on the infrastructure that I need to put in to actually make that come true. I haven't got there yet. I got what I need. I know what I'm going to do, but I haven't got there yet. I want to get all of the components of the cage put together and final before I start actually working on the underside insulation in the bus. I've got to put some sheet metal across the top of here that will allow me to actually then go in and do the elevator component of it, and it'll be interesting, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. The biggest challenge that I'm going to have is trying to figure out how to keep this thing from swaying under the bus, but I'll figure that out when I get there, because right now it is not under the bus, and I don't know what I need to do to make that happen. At any rate, it is cleaned, it is primed, it is welded, it is painted, it is ready to go. I'm going to start putting sheet metal on the sides, getting that all ready, and I can't do any more today, so I'm going to go start pulling together a video, and then we'll pick it up again tomorrow. Well, alright everyone, it is Sunday, August the 9th, and there it is. It's ready to go under the bus. I worked on it Friday afternoon, got the sidewalls in, and that was about it. Did some other things, but worked on it all day yesterday and got it all pulled together, got it all painted. At this point, it's ready to go under the bus and see if my my idea can become a reality and actually work the way I anticipated. So let me give you a rundown on a few things that I did that I never talked about before. So one of the things that I did was I used this piece of rubber rail that I had salvaged out of when I removed the skin for underbody storage. I did that to provide some strength to the center of the floor of this thing. It ties this channel rail up here to the angle iron in the back, and also provides center support for the floor. This rivet right here actually provides support for this because it wasn't connected to anything. because of the way that it was built. So I put that in there to give it a little bit more support on the bottom. So that was one of the additions that I made. One of the things that I talked about for the structural integrity of this, if you can see right here in the corners, so every corner on this frame where I did all the welding and stuff, I drilled and put some deep reach rivets in every single corner where the frames met and were welded together to provide a little bit of additional support. All of the other side panel and all those other rivets are just normal length. I've got a couple here so I can show you the difference. So this is the one that I'm using for the frame, to tie the frame together. You can notice it's got a much greater reach on it, and this is the one that I'm using for all of the side panels and stuff. So that's what I did there, just like I said I would. Now, one of the other things that I want to point out is I've got this piece of 3/16 inch steel plate right here. I've got this riveted into the frame here. These bolts are for something else I'll show you in a minute, but I've got it riveted there as well. This is what supports the weight of the cage and generator when it's moving up and down. I put it underneath the frame so that the weight is always pulling down on I'm sorry, the weight is always acting against the frame rails, and it is lifting up and down. All of these could come out and it would still stay in place because it's the weight is actually going downward, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to explain that I did it because all of the weight is always going to be resting on that plate bolted to the frame. So that's the way it looks right now. It's all ready. I did put in, as I had mentioned, the 16 gauge galvanized steel on the sidewalls to add a little bit of extra strength and tie the top and bottom together as well. So I did that. So let me roll this thing up and show you the magic of what's going to make it an elevator. And it is that right there. That is a 9,000 pound stabilizer jack. I have several of them. I use them to level the bus and stuff, and that is what is going to be the magic that makes this thing go up and down. I've got my impact wrench here. I can show you how that works. I just put this on here, and I can, this would actually be the action to lower the generator down to the ground, and when it's down on the ground, this would actually be picking it up and stowing it underneath the bus. So that's how that's going to work. I don't know, once I get it in there, everything always changes, so we'll see what happens when I get it in there, and hopefully my my dream will become a reality on this thing. One of the things I want to show you is I've got some bolt holes right here. These were already in the base of the jack. I've got 3/8 bolts that's going to go through there, and then I've got two 5/16 bolts that's going to go on the outside to try to add a little bit better stability to the mounting apparatus that I have under the bus. So with that said, let me take you under the bus and show you what this is going to mount to. All right, so this is the forward side of the bus going towards the cab. I've got two 3/8 and one 5/16 bolt. I had to drop down to a 5/16 because I was right on the edge. Didn't like that, and I just wanted to make sure that I had a bolt there. But I've got two 3/8 inch bolts that are holding this to this substantial frame that I have right here. This is also 3/16, and if it supports and mounts the body of this bus to the frame, it should support that generator. One of the other things that I did is I riveted the center of the plate to these other rails across here and here, and I did that to keep this from pulling and sagging down. That's going to be a lot of weight on it, and I wanted to make sure that it was stable and secure. On the other side, the same thing. I got two 3/8 inch bolts and a 5/16 that's going through this frame that's holding this end up. Everything is all tight and secure. The next thing that I need to do now is bring that thing in under here. I need to lift it up so that I can mark where I need to drill my holes so that I can mount the jack to this, and then we'll be able to see if the magic is going to happen. So that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. That's what I got done right now. I'm going to Now try to get that thing underneath this bus and see what I can do to get it mounted and see if the magic will work. So I'll be back in a bit. All right, I'm back. All I got is a few words. Look what I got done, y'all. I got my generator in there. I got it in the cage. I got the cage mounted. I have tested it a few times. It raises and it lowers. I am really happy with it. Now, in full transparency, there's a few things that I need to do to close this little installation out, but I do want to point out that it does work. I was really concerned about it. Three different things that I need to do. I need to figure out a way to stabilize it a little bit. I'm going to put some undercarriage support so that when it's all the way up, it is tight against the bottom frame of the bus. One of the other things that I have to do, let me take you under the bus and I'll show you, but if you see, I need to move that pipe right there, and that pipe carries the 12 volt charging wire for my 24 volt DC to DC charger. So the challenge with it is that it is in there really tight, and I need to move it about 2 inches or more that way, because when this comes up, it sticks way out here, and it will it wants to pin the pipe up against the bolts, and I don't want that because that is a charging cable and it's got power on it all the time. So that said, I got to move that. One of the challenges that's preventing me from moving that right now, which is another thing that I need to deal with, is for me to move that, I have to get rid of that wasp nest right there, because I don't want to get stung trying to move that pipe, because I'm going to have to get right up in that area right there, as you can see where it's going across, because it's in a bind against the frame holding it in place. So that's what I got to do there. I want to try to figure out a way to stabilize this. Another thing that I need to do is across the top of here, when this thing is fully closed, there is a 4-inch difference. So what I need to do is I need to put a stop block on the front and back of this thing, so that when it pulls all the way up, it hits that stop block and the jack can pull it tightly up against the floor and make sure that it's stable and solid against the floor of the bus. So I got that all done. One of the other things I want to show you before I give you a demo of the fact that it works and we wrap this up is what it's going to look like when it's fully up. So I did some measurements. Oh, this is a pain getting in and out of there. So I did some measurements, and if you look, you can see this line right here. This is actually the stowed position line of the bottom of this generator cage. When it's fully up and up against the floor the way that it's supposed to be, that's where it's going to sit. It's over a foot off the pavement and off the ground. Shouldn't be an issue. This is the bottom of my storage cabinet, and I think the distance here is like 8 or 9 inches right here, so not too bad. If it would have been that generator over there, it would have been way down here, and that was just way too low, which is why I didn't do that and why I'm using this one. So that's an inverter generator. I wish I could have found an inverter generator of this size, because they work so much better, but it is what it is. So that said, what I want to do is I want to give you a little demo of what this thing looks like going up and down, show you that it works, and then we're going to wrap this up. I'm going to leave the camera out here to show you this thing going up and down. No reason for you to be underneath watching me fight the drill to get this thing to move. So I am going to do that real quick, and then we'll call it a wrap. So I'll walk you through it as I'm going through it, but here is the generator, and I'm going to get under there and I'm going to make this thing move. Alright, so I am going to try to make it go up, and this is not easy, guys. All right, there it is, going up. Got it up this high. I can't go any higher because of that pipe that I showed you earlier. I got to get that out of the way, and then I'll be able to pull it all the way up and stow it. I want to get my stop blocks in as well, and I think I'm gonna have to figure out a different way because these little battery powered drills just don't have the oomph to do this. So now I'm gonna drop it back down. And it is back on the ground. Works like a champ. I am going to lubricate those threads in there. That's part of the problem. It seems to be binding, and the other thing is that I need to try to stabilize it. That's the other thing, is because it wants to move this way, and when it moves this way, it binds the mechanism of the jack itself. The jack is rated to support 9,000 pounds, so this generator and this cage is not anywhere close to the maximum capacity of that jack. So it's just a matter of alignment, stabilization, and lubrication to get it so that it works smoothly. So proof of concept. I can't believe it, but it worked, and it will be really nice when I get it all done. I think I mentioned it earlier, but just in case I didn't, I'm going to put some support underneath this thing so that when it's fully up and stowed, it's got underbody support for a little bit of safety, security, and stability. And I'm really happy with it. It was an idea that I had that would make it easier for me to get a generator in and out and stow it without having some other vehicle or something do it for me. So I've got my generator on my bus, so makes me happy. With that said, I think we're going to call this one a wrap. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some ideas. I hope you have some inspiration on ways that you can do the same thing on anything that you're trying to build as well. So everything fits, everything is tight. Oh, well, one thing I did want to point out too is that right now this thing is elevated because I'm on jacks and I've got everything level. But if you see this right here, this bottom of this thing right here, when when this is on level ground, this will actually line up with this right here when the generator is all the way down. So it still gives me the full realm of access to the cage, but this top part will line up with this top part and allow me to get the generator in and out on level ground, or whatever the case may be. I have plenty of travel with it, so that if I am in a weird place and I have to do some really strange leveling shit, I can still drop this further than what it is right now. Matter of fact, I could drop it probably another foot or more before I reach the end of the travel on that jack. So at any rate, another concept, another idea, another dream pulled together and made to work. Still have a little bit of stuff to do to finalize it, but at this point I'm going to call it a wrap. I think it's good. I think it's a success, and I hope you think so too. If not, excuse me, if not, give me some comments. Let me know if you see a way that you think I could improve it. Let me know that too. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll be back soon on another exciting episode.